Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up.
Welcome back, guys. You guys caught me with snacks. Finally an arrest in the murder of Rachel Morin. We're going to be with Harford County Sheriff's Office live on Facebook at 2 o'clock. But let's take a look. This is Rachel Morin. It's been 6 months. Welcome back, everybody. It's been 6 months. Authorities have made an arrest in the killing of Rachel Morin, the Harford County mother of 5. I still can't believe she has 5 children, whose body was found near a popular hiking trail in August, according to her family. Victor Martinez-Hernandez was arrested in Tulsa. So he was arrested. So he committed this crime in Maine. Is that right? It's Maine, right? Or Maryland? Maine? Maryland. Shit, I can't even remember now. But anyways, he was also a suspect in an essay of an underage girl out in California. So this guy's been across the country. If it's the same guy, I guess we'll find out. But it sounds like that might be the same dude. Maryland, not Maine. Sorry. Those little states get me all mixed up over there. Maryland or Maryland. Thank you, James. So it says he was arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma late Friday night and booked into the jail early Saturday morning. This is according to Rachel's family and court records. He was charged with first-degree murder and first-degree rape, according to her family. And she was 37 years old, and she went for a run along the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland, around 6 p.m. on August the 5th of last year and never returned. Volunteers combing the woods for her body found it in a drainage culvert near the trail the next day. And then they announced that in March of 2023, the DNA found on her body was linked to this sex offender in California. And then we have the booking information from Tulsa. It's crazy. Arrest time was last night at 11:28 p.m. and then he was booked in actually today. In his 20s, around 5'9" and 160 pounds, was the suspect in the California essay. And the Oklahoma court records list him as 5'8", 160 pounds. So it's right on with that suspect. Welcome back, Joe. Welcome back, everybody. So that is Victor Martinez-Hernandez, arrested in the murder and rape of Rachel Morin. So we're going to go over to Facebook and we will keep checking to see when they go live. But I think it's probably not going to be till 2. But this girl says ICE found him. Let's be clear. She said ICE found them. He was found in Oklahoma. So we've got them all over the damn country, right? It is literally pouring down rain here today. Like right now, literal sheets. We're getting a little bit of weather. So we should be live in about 8 minutes, I guess. Welcome in, Sherry, and September Pours. September Pours, it is pouring. Yes. He's from El Salvador.
It's in the water. What the f?
I mean, who cares who got it? She says, why? Let's be clear. It's like we always got to put down law enforcement, right? In some way, shape, or form. People got to stop doing that as like a knee jerk reaction. Like, oh, ICE did it. Let's be real. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. Y'all, I'm going off camera right now because my ass is tired. You're near St. Pete, September? In September. Oh, we are. Oh, thank you, Jams. Oh, yeah. It is just literal downpours. I haven't looked at the radar, though. I have to admit. Why does the sheriff have a donut for Fast Fact Friday? Fast Fact Friday from Harford County Sheriff's Office. How many donuts do Americans consume each year? Where's the answer? Where's the answer? I guess they leave us guessing on that one. They're not going to tell us how many donuts do cops consume each year. I am, Sherry. I'm chilling. It's raining. I'm tired. Let's just do a vocal podcast today. Do you remember? I think it's great news, though. I mean, 6 months is a long time. And they were very quiet, except for asking about this dude. Let's check out the weather really quick. We got a few minutes. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I should do weather. Weather with Jay. Look at this. Place an ice cube on a burger while grilling. Because I said I wanted to grill, I'm getting that ad. And probably because I put ice in my dog's bowl today. This is AI. This is what AI does. I put ice in my dog's bowl, and I talked about grilling on the grill. And look what I got. That's when AI is a disaster. Tropical depression could form next week. Great news. We are in hurricane season as well. Damn radar on this thing. I jack up my AI all the time. I like cover my phone camera when I'm doing things so it gets confused. I guess it's not bad. It's just one weather squall for us in the Clearwater, St. Petersburg area. Just enough to wet the whistle outside, and then it will move on. We are all good. We really needed this rain bad. Yes, Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, how are ya? We needed it bad. The water levels are low. Everything's super duper dry. It's a mess. I welcome it. I'm just glad it's not going to last like this all day because that would be a disaster. This sheriff's department hasn't been live in 41 weeks. Did it just stop there? YouTubeist, you don't get hurricanes there? Gonna be a wild hurricane season, says Island. Oh, Lord. Don't curse us.
It's in the water. What the f?
It's been super hot here. My dog loves ice cubes. They love them. Especially Bella. She really loves ice cubes. It's hot in Texas. It's been hot here too.
So hot in her.
Hello, Lindsay. How are you? Everybody stay cool. Did you hear that crackle of thunder? Dude, that was a long one. I love thunderstorms, though. I must say. One of my favorite things is just turn off the TV and nap during. Oh, love it. Or at night, thunderstorms. Oh, you're in St. Augustine. That's right, Lisa Rose. It's a joke. It went over my head, Lisa.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
Is that what you call those things, Barbie? Blind mosquitoes? Are those the ones that you can't really see and they bite the hell out of you? Because those have been awful here. I mean, we have like these mosquitoes I've never seen before in my life. Like you can barely see them and they bite the hell out of you and it stings. Like it hurts. It's okay, Tit. It's okay, titties. I don't have my email pulled up when I'm live because it's too much. My system will get overloaded. I just have like the bottom line Mac Mini. So I don't have a really powerful system, and I have like my audio, and then I play these videos, and I'm streaming in 1080. And if I open up too many windows, that's when I start to get choppy audio, or I'll start to get lagging and things like that. You know how that happens. No-see-ums aren't mosquitoes, though. No-see-ums are like a gnat. I love a rainy night. Ian was your first since, yeah, it's kind of scary. I just call them gnats. And those no-see-um things give me hives. I get hives from getting bit by those. Hey, Mr. Saint. How you doing? How you doing? Let's see if we've started yet. Not yet. It's 1:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. Nope, it hasn't started yet. It's supposed to be live at 2 p.m. We got a few more minutes. Corona, California. Welcome in, Mr. Saint. Have you been following this case, Mr. Saint? Yep, it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right meow. Right meow. Thank you for joining today. I feel so bad for her 5 children, though. I always forget. She looks so young that I forget she had 5 children. So Rachel Morin was a fitness enthusiast, and she was out jogging on this trail called the Ma and Pa Trail, located in Bel Air, Maryland. You have, Mr. Saint? If you guys remember, that's the one in California that he was wanted for. I don't know why all these law enforcement departments don't move over to YouTube and do YouTube lives. How about the Gilgo Beach in the Long Island serial killer, the DA there? That Tierney guy? He only streams his press conferences on Instagram. And I thought that was kind of weird. That's kind of an obscure place to stream. The following afternoon, another one. Oh, never mind. I read part of your post. Thank you, Jammers, for the update in chat. Hi, Anne in Ireland. Good to see you today. It's so wild that we're reaching people in Ireland, you guys. That was in your area. I'm glad they caught him too. Isn't that crazy though? Like, it's better than Tic Tac, yeah. But yeah, so that one was in California by you, and then we have him in Maryland, and then they arrest him in Oklahoma. So God knows what other states this creep's been in. Yeah, on Instagram. I thought that was extremely weird too. I don't even have an Instagram. I mean, I do, but I don't even use it. I don't even ever log into it. I thought that was a really weird place to stream too, but the last update they gave on Rachel was 43 weeks ago on this site. 43 weeks. Hey, Elaine in Scotland. Love your name. So he had an accomplice? Here we are. We're live. Woo woo. We haven't missed a thing, guys. It's just starting. And if you're wondering, Summer Rue is watching along with us today. This is the Harford County Sheriff's Office. Good morning, Gypsy. Welcome in. Hey, Lacey. I know you do, Island. Hey, twins. I hear some movement in the room there. All right, here we go. Here come the line of men. Are we going to have a woman thrown in there? Maybe. Not a one. Not a one. Oh, there she is. Okay. We're represented, ladies. Hey, Mike. Welcome back.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Hopkins, Director of Media and Public Relations for the Harford County Sheriff's Office. I thank each of you for joining us today as Sheriff Taylor announces long-awaited and much-anticipated updates the murder investigation of Rachel Morin. Standing and offering remarks with the sheriff are Bill DeBagno, Special Agent in Charge, FBI, Baltimore Field Office. Evan Campanella, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, HSI, Baltimore Field Office. Allison Healy, Harford County State's Attorney. Also in attendance are Colonel William Davis, Chief Deputy, Harford County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Christopher Maddox, Criminal Investigations Division, Harford County Sheriff's Office. David Hughes, Deputy Chief, Bel Air Police Department. John Cook, Chief of Staff, Washington, Baltimore, HIDA. Patrick Vincenti, President of the Harford County Council, and members of Rachel's family. After Ms. Healy concludes her remarks, Heidi Morin, Rachel's mom, will offer a few remarks as well. She will not be taking questions today.
Rachel's mom's going to
speak. We know
speak.
that you have many questions for all of us. Please keep in mind that we will try to answer as many as we can, but this investigation is still ongoing, and there are some details we cannot discuss at this time. Again, thank you for joining us, taking your time and dedication to telling Rachel's story. And with that, Sheriff Gaylor.
Thanks, Christy. Good afternoon, everybody. As Christy said, I'm Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor. As everyone's aware, on August 6, 2023, our peaceful Harford County community was rocked when the body of Rachel Morin was discovered in an area just about a mile from here, just off the Ma and Pa hiking trail here just outside the town of Bel Air. In addition to the impact to our local Harford County community, Rachel's murder gained national and even international attention. the young mother of 5 whose life was violently taken in a public location, is one of the safest places in the state. It's not supposed to happen, and it shouldn't have happened. In the days and months since Rachel was murdered, Rachel's family and friends, our Harford County community, and the men and women of the Harford County Sheriff's Office, along with all of our allied partners, have worked tirelessly to bring the individual responsible for her death to justice. Our deputies and our partners have worked this case with persistence and passion for Rachel and for her family every day over the past 10 months. Just over 3 weeks ago, on May 20th, on what should have been Rachel's 38th birthday, and in a poetic coincidence, or perhaps Rachel's own divine assistance, our investigators uncovered a lead that led us to this day. And on this day, I'm here to tell you Rachel's murderer is no longer a free man. Hopefully, he will never have the opportunity to walk free again. The lead we received was related to DNA evidence and allowed investigators to finally put a name to the image of the suspect in the video from Los Angeles, which we released 2 weeks after Rachel's death. After we had the video, we knew what he looked like. We knew what he looked like, but we didn't know who he was. With the new DNA evidence, now we know who he is, but we still didn't know where he was. As I have stated many times, this killer could have been laying his head in any community in the country or even in the world, and indeed, that was completely accurate. Over the past 2 weeks, investigators continued their diligent investigation and tracked the suspect all the way from Prince George's County to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Our investigators also obtained an arrest warrant yesterday afternoon, and as the arrest warrant was being issued, we met with Rachel's family, many of whom are with us today, to update them on the case and asked of them an almost impossible request, and that was to keep the information about the identity and the arrest warrant to themselves and protected, to allow investigators the opportunity to try to apprehend this suspect before it was made public in the news, so that our suspect did not have the opportunity to learn that he was wanted and to once again flee. 5 hours after meeting with the family, and just before midnight our time, police in Tulsa, Oklahoma, assisted by our federal partners, located and arrested Rachel's murderer, Victor Antonio Martinez-Hernandez. So far, we have learned that the suspect, now pictured on the screens, is a 23-year-old citizen of El Salvador who illegally crossed the border into the United States in February of 2023. We all suspected that perhaps Rachel was not his first victim, and it's my understanding that this suspect, this monster, fled to the United States illegally after committing the brutal murder of a young woman in El Salvador a month early in January of 2023. Once in our country, and likely emboldened by his anonymity, he brutally attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion in March of 2023 in Los Angeles. Pictured on the screens, and is everyone a 23-year-old citizen of El Salvador who illegally crossed the border into the United States in February of 2023. We all suspected that perhaps Rachel was not his first victim, and it's my understanding that this suspect, this monster, fled to the United States illegally after committing the brutal murder of a young woman in El Salvador a month early in January of 2023. Once in our country, and likely emboldened by his anonymity, he brutally attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion in March of 2023 in Los Angeles. And as everyone I believe is aware, that was our first DNA match linking Rachel's case to the Los Angeles case. It has been a fear of mine that once we identified this suspect, the result would be exactly this. And I want to now direct these comments to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and to every member in both chambers of Congress. We are 1,800 miles
Little
away
girl
here in
and
Harford
her
County.
mother.
We are 1,800 miles away from the southern border, and the American citizens are not safe because of failed immigration policies. This is the second time in just 2 years that an innocent Harford County woman has lost her life to a criminal in our country illegally. Let me repeat that. 1,800 miles from the southern border, and this is the second woman in our county to be killed by an illegal alien. Suspects, in both cases, they are suspects from El Salvador with ties to
Unbelievable.
criminal gangs. Should not be happening. Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or for his family. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel, and God willing, no one else. But that should have never been allowed to happen. Moving on, I want to make it clear that this case does not get solved, and we do not bring this criminal to justice without the amazing law enforcement teamwork from our local, state, and federal partners. And I mean that in all sincerity. Rachel's homicide does not get solved. There is no arrest without all of us working together. And for that, I want to thank everyone here in the front of the room and all those who aren't here, but I'm going to cover a list in a minute. I want to thank all of them for their assistance to our agency over the past 10 months. We are profoundly grateful for your dedication and support. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, especially the Baltimore Field Office, rendered invaluable assistance throughout the course of the investigation. Similarly, the State Police, Maryland State Police Crime Laboratory contributed greatly with their expertise and resources. I must also say thank you to the Los Angeles Police Department, the Department of Homeland Security, Naval Criminal Investigative Services, the Maryland State Police Bel Air Barrack, the U.S. Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force, the Harford County State's Attorney's Office, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources Police, the Bel Air Police Department, Maryland Coordination and Analysis Center, the Baltimore Washington HIDA, the Tulsa Oklahoma Police Department, El Salvadorian authorities, and the many law enforcement agencies, both state and local, who provided invaluable assistance to the Harford County Sheriff's Office during this investigation. As I think is evident, this was truly a comprehensive law enforcement effort, and I am exceptionally proud of the work done by the collective team and countless others who made last night's arrest in Tulsa possible. I also want to thank the members of our Harford County community for their patience, support, and cooperation throughout this investigation, to include hundreds upon hundreds of tips that our investigators have received. Today, we were able to provide what some like to refer to as closure to Rachel's family and for our Harford County community. I want to thank the members of the Morin family, and you're going to hear from, as Christy said, from Patricia here in a minute, but no questions. They have been by the side of our detectives this entire time, doing anything that they could do to help the investigation and to help our detectives, to help bring this individual that took Rachel's life to justice. I recognize there is nothing that will ever close the door or bring true closure concerning the loss of Rachel, but it is my hope and the hope of all involved working this case that the arrest of this suspect brings her family and our Harford County community some peace. I would like to now ask FBI Baltimore Field Office Special Agent in Charge, William DeBano, did I get it right? DeBano, to offer a few remarks.
He attacked a
Thank you,
9-year-old.
Sheriff Gaylor. Good afternoon. My name is Bill Del Bagno. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI Baltimore Field Office. Today, our focus remains on Rachel, bringing justice for her, finding answers for her family and loved ones, and making sure the violent criminal who so viciously took her life cannot harm anyone else. The FBI is proud to stand united with our partners in the Harford County Sheriff's Office as we announce this arrest. We know nothing can take away the pain and the anguish Rachel's family and friends have endured. Please know, on behalf of the FBI, our hearts are with you. To the public, Keeping our community safe is one of the FBI's highest priorities, and so are the invaluable partnerships required to accomplish this. During the investigation, here's what I can share from the FBI. Our investigative genetic genealogy team in Baltimore worked countless hours to identify the suspect by using crime scene DNA and tracing that DNA to potential family members. Investigators even traveled to El Salvador as part of their efforts to identify this killer. To find the suspect, we provided technical assistance, helping to pinpoint his location. And that brings us to last night, where Tulsa police and FBI agents were able to successfully apprehend and arrest the suspect in Oklahoma. Hartford County and the investigators on this case worked every angle, tirelessly and constantly, never giving up and following every lead and piece of evidence. We thank Hartford County for their partnership and bringing us into the investigation. As Sheriff Gaylor outlined, we thank everyone who helped make this arrest possible. To all those who have been waiting for an arrest to be made, for answers, we hope this brings a sense of justice and some peace. The FBI vows to continue to work every day to keep our community safe and prioritize the partnerships so vital to doing that. Thank you. I will now turn it over to Evan Campanella, the Deputy Special Agent in Charge, HSI, Baltimore.
Thank you, Sec Del Bagno. First off, I would like to thank Sheriff Gaylor for having HSI present for today's announcement. Today's announcement is the culmination of almost 1 year of investigative activity that might not always go noticed by the public. This investigation highlights the cooperation and the collaboration HSI has with its state and local and federal partners, and I'm happy to be here today with Sheriff Gaylor and our partners to announce the arrest of Mr. Martinez-Hernandez. I hope that today's announcement, as the sheriff pointed out, will help bring some closure to Rachel's family. And again, I would like to thank Sheriff Gaylor for asking HSI to participate in this investigation and to be here for today's announcement. I would now like to invite Hartford County State's Attorney, Allison Healy, to the podium for her remarks.
Good afternoon. I want to commend the Hartford County Sheriff's Office and other assisting agencies on the hard work, expertise, and diligence identifying and apprehending the suspect in the murder of Rachel Morin. They worked tirelessly on this lengthy and difficult investigation for the public safety of our community and bringing Rachel's family peace, knowing that the next step is prosecution. I will personally be leading the prosecution of this case. While the defendant is innocent until and unless he is proven guilty, Hartford County and our neighboring communities can rest assured that my office will take all steps necessary to ensure that justice is served for Rachel Morin and her family. We have already begun coordinating with the Warrant Apprehension Unit of the Hartford County Sheriff's Office to handle the extradition of the defendant to Hartford County. And once the defendant has been transported back to Hartford County, prosecution will commence. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce to you all Patricia Morin.
I'm going to make this really short because I'm very emotional. I just want to take this time to thank all of the law enforcement for all their hard work. I know that a lot of times we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, you see the policeman in the car when you write you a ticket, but you don't see the real work that happens behind. And around Christmas time, we did a canvassing with Hartford County, thank you. And they brought us into a room, and I could see all the people that were involved. And that's not even all the external agencies that were involved. And it just gave me such hope that they really did care about our family and my daughter, that they were going to work diligently to find the person that murdered her. At one point, when things seemed like really bleak and hopeless, the lead detective said to me, he said, patience will win in the end. And that's what they've been doing. They've been diligently working very hard, and they've been patiently working through all the leads. And it's because of that that we have an arrest today. So I'm very thankful and just very grateful to these men. And I'm also very grateful to the press, because you kept her story alive so that people would still continue to send in tips. And that helped them to do their job. So I want to thank the press as well. But I don't know if this is, oops, sorry about that. I don't know if this is kosher or not. I'm going to step away from the pulpit. But I think we should applaud them, just because I am so grateful that they have brought us to this place. Because at some of the points during this, I didn't think that we were ever going to have an end, that it was going to be a cold case. So I would like to applaud them.
Thank you, and it's a case that touched us all. So with that, we are going to take some questions.
He can hardly help it. He's about to
As
cry.
Christy said, this is still an active investigation. So there's some things that we're not free to speak about or won't be speaking about. So with that, does anybody have any questions that we can answer for any of the speakers?
I have a question. I want to know, if you can, and I know we kind of went into it a little bit, but what actually happens with him right now? I feel like we read an ice hole. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, or if you kind of
I'm very familiar with ICE detainers.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure.
Yes, we
What
are
happens now, she asked.
There has been an ICE detainer filed on him because he is in this country illegally out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He would not be deported before answering for these charges. So I honestly believe that's the last place he wants to go. I think, a sad statement is our jails are better here than they are in El Salvador, and he's going to spend, God willing, the rest of his days behind bars.
How was he able to get around from El Salvador to LA to here to County, apparently Tulsa?
Investigators are still working. I mean, he worked a few odd jobs that we are familiar with. Did not live a very, expensive lifestyle. But this is a free country. You can, once you're in it, you can move from one jurisdiction to the next.
Unfortunately.
Very freely. And he did that from El Salvador into the United States to Los Angeles, unfortunately here to Harford County. And again, down in Prince George's County, we had him in the Virginia area, and then all the way out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in the year he's been in the country, a little year plus, who knows where else he's been. And it's a fear of mine. It's a fear of our investigators. And as Patty said, our investigators took this case to heart, as they do all the cases. But this case they took to heart, and they worked so hard and have an emotional tie to it that I got off on a tangent. That they, I lost my train of thought. Investigators are working that. We certainly know he has connections down in the D.C. area, both Virginia and Prince George's County. But again, as he moved around the country, there were places that we believe he probably had associates, and he has ties to known gangs. So we believe that's how he lived his life.
You mentioned how many total crimes or victims are police aware that this man?
That's where I was going before. We fear all the time, the investigators fear that we're going to stumble across another crime that just hasn't been tied back through DNA or some other science or electronic, tie, that the evidence just hasn't reached the point where we get a hit. But right now, what we're familiar with is the crime in Los Angeles, the home invasion in March of 2023, the homicide
Kendo
here
has
of
just
Rachel in
$15
August of
using
2023.
J4J411
And I believe
Live.
in Tulsa he's facing some local charges as well for last night. I think trespassing or disorderly or something to that.
How did they catch him? Thank you,
I'm not familiar
Kendo.
with any other. I'm not familiar with any other charges. Oh, in El Salvador, there is a what's it called, a red notice. A red notice, which is basically an Interpol warrant for his arrest to bring him back there to stand for the homicide of the woman in that case down there.
Unbelievable. It's like Danilo.
Well, and I gotta defer to our partners at the FBI on that one because they did most of the international.
Thanks, sir. So the FBI has personnel that are positioned throughout the world. They're called legal attaches. And we have a legal attaché that is in El Salvador. As we were conducting some of the investigative actions along with Harford County, some of the investigative information took us to El Salvador and working with our partners there in order to understand some of the familial ties that are down there, and also bring together back a better understanding of the red notice that Sheriff Gaylor brought up as well. I don't have any information on it.
Can you go into detail how he was arrested in Tulsa? Is it a traffic stop? Was it something happened? As I understand it, there was about, I don't know how many hours they're behind, 2, 3, Tulsa. So it was midnight our time, and he was hanging out at a business park or a storefront, and the police encountered him, and apparently there's a charge of, did we say it's trespassing? Trespassing. And he was identified during that arrest and processing.
Any idea of a motive here, or we feel like this was just
Motive.
Well, and that's been a question since the outset. You know, was Rachel's homicide random or targeted? And again, I don't know that we have that answer explicitly
did he just
or
randomly
completely.
see her?
But at this point, there's nothing to indicate that anyone other than him was involved. We do have some belief that he spent some time here in
Thank you, Kendi,
the Bel Air
for using
area.
the tip jar.
So he may have seen her and her more or less routine operations. One of the things that we cautioned people, particularly women on the trail, about doing was developing a routine where it can be predicted where you might be. That would be my suspicion. If he decides to talk throughout the course of the days ahead to either investigators or prosecutors as it moves to that stage, we may learn more about, was it just an opportunity because he was on the trail when, unfortunately she decided to go out exercising that day, or was it something more specific? As to the motive, we've been tight-lipped, I guess, about it. The charges in the case are first-degree murder and first-degree rape.
Sounds like it's going to be state charges for each.
Yeah. And as the colonel just reminded me to say, we do have, right now in the air, we have sent investigators to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to follow up on many things related to this investigation. It's very active and ongoing, as I said. He will be extradited here eventually, and that will be done. That process has already been initiated, but it could take, as I understand, to the state's attorney, 10 to 30 days. 10 days if he doesn't fight it, 30 days if he decides to fight it, but he will be extradited. 30 to 60.
Genetic genealogy question. Get the forensics.
I'm not really sure if we really hear that so often with cases, like packing cases, especially once you're working so hard to figure out. So can you kind of just walk us through how that thing evolved? It seems pretty dangerous.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of folks know genetic genealogy or investigative genetic genealogy in some of the cold cases, and certainly has gotten a lot of attention from the Golden State Killer, and since then a lot of investigations on the cold case side. I think folks should also know that we prioritize the violent crime cases that are current, and that this is an game-changing investigative tool to understand when there are dry holes and there's no other leads to go, that we can apply the investigative genealogy to identify potentially family members, and then in doing that, take it on to a step where Harford County and our partners can conduct interviews to better understand who the potential subjects are and narrow down that
They're
scope.
not really
we also
saying
use it on,
details
unfortunately,
like
the
that.
victim side, when we can't identify a victim through any other means, and building out the cases that way. We've seen over time 130 cases thus far since 2018 that have had successfully used investigative genetic genealogy.
There's no traffic. There's no traffic stop. Well, he was encountered by the police and agents for the FBI who were out there looking for him. So they had an idea of where he was. But I know that from that encounter, there's also a local charge of trespassing. Not in a vehicle. He was apparently at that business, I guess, unwantedly so.
What kind of business?
So he was. We already had the name. We had the arrest warrant. So when they encountered him, they knew he was wanted. So he was picked up for that. Yeah.
With the innovation in California, will he be taken in charge there? Does this take precedent? How does?
Oh, certainly this is the more serious, the loss of life. California will follow up on their investigation. They would have to direct questions to that police. It's LAPD that is handling that as far as specifics to their investigation. But certainly we have been in communication. Our investigators have been in communication with theirs. They are aware that we identified the suspect here, and by identifying our suspect, we have their suspect, they have their suspect, and they can move forward on charges. They would also file an arrest warrant on file. So, I never want him to leave Maryland again. I want him to die in a Maryland jail, Maryland prison system. We don't have the death penalty. So I just hope he spends the rest of his days there. But if he ever got out of this one, he would be sent extradited to California. And if he got out of that one, there's still the red folder, the red notice, where El Salvador would want him back, and ICE has marked him for detainer. So he would go back there to face those charges. I do not know. No. Actually, the major in the back is shaking his head no, he does not.
I didn't hear the question.
And again, we shared the picture. You all will have the picture. It's going to be, no doubt out there on social media. So we're still looking for information. He was in this area for at least some period of time. And when I say the area, he was in the Bel Air area for some period of time before or right after the homicide, or both. So if people still have information, and now that there's a name to put with the face, investigators still want to talk to you. We still want to know. We still want to build that timeline because there is a case to prosecute, and we want to put all the pieces together so that Ms. Healy can do her job most successfully, and again, ensure this guy never sees the light of day.
Did he ever have any contact with police before this in Bel Air?
Not that we're familiar with. Thank you
right
all.
under their noses.
And again, thank our partners. To have Rachel's family here means so much to not me. I mean, to me, of course, but to the investigators who worked this case tirelessly. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of our federal, state, and local partners. So with that, thank you.
I have one bit of housekeeping
okay.
for everyone too. We made a decision earlier today that we are not going to share the suspect's photo on our social media. It was here. If you have, if you would like a copy of the flyer, you can send an email to media@hartfordsheriff.org, and I will send it to you if you would like to use it in your newscast, but we will not.
Oh, they ended it. So they're not showing his photo. That's odd, isn't it? Huh. Well, this is the photo, guys. And if you live in this area, if you live anywhere, I guess, because nowhere is exempt from monsters like this. We had the college girl in Athens, Georgia, another illegal immigrant murdered her while she was jogging. Our young girls are not safe. Yeah, why wouldn't they want to share his picture? I mean, I see why they didn't want to like glorify Ethan Crumbly because of the school shooting. But the sheriff's department? Everybody should see his face. If they want help from the public, weird. That's downright weird. Yeah, but they're still looking for tips, they said. Molly Tibbetts. Yeah, that's unsolved, isn't it? Or was that solved, Franny? Yeah, that's bizarre. They want further info, but don't want to share the photo. But I could see if they weren't wanting more tips. They're still asking for help from the public, but not going to share it. Oh, it's here. You better take a picture. It's like, what? That's bizarre. And then you have to get this kind of picture that's all blurry. Molly was solved. That was an illegal too. Wow. I didn't realize that. I didn't follow that one. I remember hearing about it, but I didn't follow to the end. That's messed up. I don't understand. And thank you, Brown Eyed Gal. Hey, Bones. Lizzie says, Lizzie, member for 27 months. Thank you very much, my love. Totally bizarre, not wanting to share his picture. Yeah. Titty says, JLR is probably infuriated. He covers the borders a lot. I mean, really? He could have been in any state. Oh, but if you're not there to take a picture of it, you don't. What? I've never heard of I've never heard of such. I have never heard a sheriff say that. Is it something about him being illegal? I don't think so, because they showed Danilo. Yeah, I don't like that because he could have victims in any state. He could have been in any of our states. He attacked a 9-year-old, for God's sakes. I don't like that at all. Thank you, Kendo, for your tipping of J4J411.live. I appreciate you. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. We were live all morning, too. It is good news, though, and it was heartbreaking to see her mom, but also I wish that they would share, his photo after all of that with her mom and the tears and the all this and that. It's like, shit. Because of gang activity? Shit, I don't know. Have a good time, Titties. Titties is heading to a grad party. That sounds fun. I hope you have nice weather. Yeah, how many states? All over the country, and there's many more like him. I know, Franny. He put them right on blast. It's true. It's so true. Thank you, Pine Needle. Thank you for the moderators that showed up today. I appreciate you guys more than you could ever know. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, run our credits, and dance it out. I'll see you guys. We're doing members only tomorrow, Sunday. This is for sure. Ruckus video. Members only tomorrow, Sunday, afternoon live, 3 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Clickers only tomorrow. Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man. so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn.
Everyone's getting treated like scum.
You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone.
One Jennifer or two Jennifer?
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Jennifer loves horses. Bye, Jennifer.